News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KBNU.
KBNU News Time is 4:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by U&I Furniture. Utah Governor Spencer Cox appeared on the Utah Broadcasters Association's Direct Link program last night, which was heard on News Talk KBNU. Growth and affordable housing continue to be big issues, and the governor had an interesting factoid about growth in the state.
For the first time last year, more people moved into Utah from outside of Utah than our internal growth. Historically, over the last 10 years, even though we've been the fastest growing state, it's been internal growth that's been driving that. So for the first time, we had more people moving from outside the state. But of those that moved from outside the state, 25% of those are people who have lived here before. That's very unique. In fact, that's the highest percentage anywhere in the country of people moving back to the place where they've lived before.
The governor said they want to make sure that this is a place where people can come back and raise their families.
But as I said in my State of the State speech, I said, look, we're grateful that people want to live here. It's an amazing state. All I ask is that you don't try to turn us into where you just left. We really do have a special state, and it's because we care about each other, we care about our neighbors, we try to take care of each other. Again, I'm a conservative. I believe it's because of our conservative policies that we've had so much economic success.
And the governor also had more to say on the current situation with the drought. So we'll hear his comments on a later KBNU newscast. It is 4:06. KBNU weather for tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this evening. Patchy fog after midnight, low around 60. Patchy morning fog on Thursday, then a 50% chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Partly cloudy, high around 90. 40% chance of some mainly afternoon storms on Friday. It's been to 89. It's 89 degrees right now at KBNU. KBNU weather brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. They have the items you're looking for, the parts you need, use, and rely on every day at your 5 locally owned, pressed into Providence, Napa Auto Parts stores.
We live in a great country. We live in a great valley with a lot to be thankful for. U&I Furniture wants to take a minute and say thank you for being such good neighbors and friends and customers. U&I features many brand names, including many American-made chairs by Southern Motion, Best, Franklin & Lane, Speed Queen appliances, and therapeutic mattresses, Legend brand TV consoles and entertainment centers. Find these American-made brand furniture products at the place where there's always a better buy, U&I Furniture, downtown Logan.
KBNU News Time is 4:08. A Utah Amber Alert issued late last night for a child out of American Fork was canceled in the early hours this morning as the child was found. However, the search for the suspect is continuing. The alert issued at 10:49 p.m. and canceled just after 3 a.m. names 29-year-old Danny Sahalith as the suspect. Police believed he abducted a 5-year-old boy in a Walmart parking lot, but the boy was later located and is safe. Sahalith is believed to be traveling in a red 2012 Acura TSX SE with Utah license plate number 2S2NP. The car is missing its front bumper and grille, and it has a damaged driver's side window. Sahalith is described as an Asian or Pacific Islander, 5'11" tall, 190 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes, wearing a black T-shirt, black pants, and dark tennis shoes. He has sleeve tattoos on both forearms. And 2 single-engine aircraft banked from opposite directions toward the same runway in North Las Vegas before a crash last month that killed all 4 people aboard. That's according to a preliminary report from the National Transportation Safety Board. A diagram of the July 17th crash shows the paths of a Piper airplane from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, with 2 people aboard, and a Cessna 172 with an instructor and student pilot come together at North Las Vegas Airport. KBNU News Time is 4:09. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
This is Aaron Dorr with Wyoming Gun Owners with an important update about Uinta County's state Senate race. Wendy Schuler claims to be pro-gun, but in the Senate, Schuler voted to mandate deadly gun-free zones. Schuler also sided with moderate rhinos to gut the Second Amendment Preservation Act, which is supposed to stop Joe Biden from forcing Wyoming cops to carry out his gun control agenda. Every time gun owners needed a champion in Cheyenne, Wendy Schuler stabbed us in the back. But while Wendy Schuler was voting against your freedoms, Bob Wharf was leading the fight to defend them in Cheyenne. Wharf was the lead sponsor on this year's Second Amendment Preservation Act. Wharf successfully expanded constitutional carry last year, and Bob Wharf helped pass Stand Your Ground law. Bob Wharf is 100% pro-gun. Wendy Schuler isn't. Tell Schuler to stop selling out gun owners and start fighting for freedom. 679-6774. Paid for by Wyoming Gun Owners.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, Edward Jones agrees, and they can help. Together, they'll give your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by your local Edward Jones office, one of 7 locations in Cache Valley. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cache Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have 2 guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People, hour 1 of today's show, Wednesday, August 10th. I'm Jason Williams, Bill Walter here in the studio as well. Quite a bit to talk about on the show today. A review from me of the Wednesday market. Got out there a bit. It was fun. I want to talk about these types of things happening in cities all over the place and some rumors I've heard of Logan City as a trendsetter and some other cities in northern Utah following suit with some of the new things you've seen in Logan this summer. It's a pretty cool time in northern Utah. We'll talk about that coming up later on in the show. We also have in Utah news today some announcements from the legislature as far as the some changes that will be occurring for the upcoming legislative session, timing-wise and more. So stay tuned for all of that. Kicking things off here, though, with 2 very special guests in the studio. Here to talk to us about Providence City's annual Sauerkraut Days event. It is starting next Monday, August 15th, runs to the 20th, so all of next week. Most of the events taking place at Zollinger Park there in Providence, which if you don't know where that is, where have you been? If you would like to see an address and all of that, I've linked to it on our Facebook page. This is a week of events from Monday to Saturday, and it has become one of the most popular annual events in Cache Valley. I know people actually that have come over from the Wasatch Front and Brigham City area for this as well. Starting with, just to give you an example, and I think Bill and I should maybe get out and be a part of this one. The Find the Can event kicks off Monday, August 15th. And that's just one of several things planned. So we've got representatives of Providence City Sauerkraut Days here in the studio with us. And if you can, just you can flip a coin for who goes first. Introduce yourself to listeners and tell them how you got involved with Providence and Sauerkraut Days.
Okay, well, I will go ahead and start. My name is Nicole Bone, and I am a Providence City resident, a proud Providence City resident. We are thrilled to be able to be a part of this celebration. Ashley and I both live right on Main Street, and we felt we needed to to bring this back with a bang. We have a lot of fun things planned, starting with Find the Can.
I love that.
We're going to have so much fun with this. Starting on Monday, there will be riddles and clues. There will be 2 cans a day, Monday through Friday.
And this is citywide, right?
This is city.
Like,
this is
just
Cache
at the
County.
park.
No, and this is for all Cache Valley residents.
Oh, wow.
So get on the website, get on our social media pages to find those riddles and clues, and go out with your family and have fun and find that can. And when you do find that can, take a picture of yourself, put it on social media that you found that can, and bring it back to the city for a special prize.
It's very cool. All right. Thank you, Nicole. And you, Ashley.
I'm Ashley Poole, and I was asked by a city council member and the mayor to kind of take on this celebration and bring it back after a few years of COVID, of it kind of being out of, and so it was kind of I'll do this, Nicole, if you'll do it. And she was like, well, I'm in if you're in. So both of us love a good party, and we are really excited about it. We've spent a lot of time and making this a celebration for our residents, and we're really excited about having everybody be able to come out for this community event together.
That is very cool.
And hopefully you both love sauerkraut, too.
Oh, absolutely. A good kraut dog. Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's. Let's talk about that a little bit. How did this become a thing? Because it was at first, years ago, it was sort of a kind of almost a tongue-in-cheek sort of thing that was very local, but it's grown and grown. Can you talk a little bit about the history of sauerkraut days?
That's a Nicole question.
Absolutely, yes. So Providence was founded in 1859 by German and Swiss immigrants. So it dates back a long, long time, these celebrations. And they used to have big bazaars of sauerkraut dinners, and the LDS church would sponsor these, and people from all over the valley would come and attend. And that's how they would raise money for the wards and the buildings, is these bazaars, and people would make things. And also the sauerkraut was made in big barrels in the city sheds, in all sorts of
so
places.
Cool.
And all the locals would get in on this. And then about 15 years ago, that stopped. They, health permits and all of that, wasn't able to do that. But we have a local company, Bear River Bottling, that has bottled sauerkraut for this year. And we will be offering that with a dinner.
They have created a special recipe just for our event.
Oh, really?
So,
available only at okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
We have vendors. We have food trucks coming. So Friday and Saturday are our main events. We have a parade going down Main Street, Providence at 5 p.m. on Friday the 19th. And throughout the week, again, like you said, we have activities all week with a pickleball tournament on Tuesday and Wednesday. And on Thursday, the 18th, at the Old Rock Church at 6 p.m., we have a historic tour down Main Street, Providence with the Historic Preservation Committee.
Now, I'm excited about that because this is... So here on the show, we get a chance to talk a lot with Logan City, and even we did something on Wellsville recently because of the Tabernacle, of course. But I don't think many people have been exposed to the history of Providence. Providence is one of the oldest cities in the valley.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, Sauerkraut Days itself dates back to, 1859?
Yes.
I saw on the flyer. This is, so a historic tour of downtown. Can you talk about this at all without spoiling anything? I don't want to give people a reason to skip it Thursday night at 6, but...
it's going to be worth it.
So we teamed up with our Historic Preservation Committee and had asked them to put together a few homes in a 1-block radius that families can, it's kind of like a family walkabout where families will be out and looking at the plaques in front of these homes and kind of just visiting and mixing and mingling along the route.
Oh, that's
and
very
then
cool.
The Old Rock Church will be open for tours for you to go in and check that out there too. So
very cool. This is that's one I'm definitely putting a pin in because there are some really old houses along the stretch where this is. So that's next Thursday, a week from this Thursday, August 18th at 6 p.m. starting at the Old Rock Church. And again, that's just about halfway through the events here. I know, really quick, just backing up, because we do have a question from a listener here, and this is a great question, but a listener wants to know if vendor applications are still open. You guys do accept vendors setting up booths, even food trucks and things like that. And ProvidenceCity.com, the website there, I know there's an application. That's still open, right, for the time being? Maybe
it is still open. We are limiting.
Okay.
We're getting limited on space, and also we don't want to have too many of the same items. So
Okay.
we would take an application, and we'll still review it at this point.
Okay, great. That was thanks for that question. But yeah, there you have it. Feel free to submit an application, but they are being kind of picky about this. They're protective of Sauerkraut Days, which is good. This is I should mention this too. You can find Sauerkraut Days on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want an idea of what we're talking about here, you can go back and look at some photos and stories from previous Sauerkraut Days. There have been some really fun events, and all of this is set up around, even though the history of this is purely tied to sauerkraut and food and the sharing of food, which at one point was a very important thing to have happen, especially in the fall as the warm months ended here in Cache Valley. But this is all now sort of structured around a party environment, a festival-like environment.
Absolutely.
And games everywhere. I know last time I went, I thought that was very cool. But this is nice. Friday night, August 19th, starting at 5 p.m., there's the parade, which goes straight down Main Street and ends in Zollinger Park. But for this parade, you guys have planned, you've got the food trucks, live music, a DJ and dance party there in the Zollinger Park area, and then games set up for every age. So this is really kind of expanded into sort of a county fair style event.
Absolutely, yes.
That is very cool. How hard is that to plan?
Oh boy!
Well, you're asking at a really hard time when we're down to crunch time, and our children and our husbands are feeling very neglected by Sauerkraut
You've been
Days
a little busy,
at this time.
That is, I mean, really, to put an event like this together each and every year, it takes a lot of work. And I know, speaking with past organizers, it is something that you start planning the week after it occurs for the next year. Running since 1859, Providence City's Sauerkraut Days kicks off next Monday, August 15th, with the beginning of the Find the Can Valley-wide Sauerkraut Can Hunt. This is going to be fun to see. I can't wait to see the posts from this one on social media. Tuesday of next week, pickleball tournaments at the Millville Courts. Thursday, the historic downtown Providence tour beginning at the Old Rot Church. Friday the 19th, parade down Main Street starting at 5 p.m. And then Saturday, an entire day of events. But you'll have to stay tuned to hear what's planned for Saturday. Talking with our friends Nicole and Ashley here in the studio about Providence City's Sauerkraut Days, August 15th through the 20th at Zollinger Park and throughout the city and the valley for some of these events. Stay tuned. We'll talk about the big final day of Sauerkraut Days, Saturday, August 20th, a full day of events. Details on that right after this.
Monday, August 22nd, come help ignite the light with Alex Boyer as he performs a free concert at the Cache County Fairgrounds, bringing positive support to suicide prevention. Suicide affects all walks of life, backgrounds, and age demographics. Join Alex Boyer Monday, August 22nd for a free concert bringing attention to suicide prevention and a new national suicide and crisis lifeline, 988. If you think you may need help or just want to talk with someone, call 988. Donations of any size are accepted and welcome to help make this event possible. Go to CacheValleyIgniteTheLight.com for concert details and donation information. The outpouring of support for this event last year was unbelievable. Business and individual donations are vital for the 2022 event. Join Alex Boyer at the Cache County Fairgrounds Monday, August 22nd for a free concert bringing attention and positive support to suicide prevention. Donations of any size are accepted and welcome. Go to CacheValleyIgniteTheLight.com for concert details and donation information. That's CacheValleyIgniteTheLight.com. And thank you for making this event possible.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology is Cache Valley's most trusted name in hearing aid technology. Schedule a free consultation with Dr. Paul Daines by calling 753-HEAR or visit CacheHearing.com.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Joined in the studio by Nicole Bone and Ashley Poole. They are organizing, part of a team organizing Sauerkraut Days for Providence City. It starts next Monday, runs through Saturday, August 20th. It's been happening since 1859, but over those few years, it has evolved from a purely localized sauerkraut barrel swapping event, which was actually important for people to get through the winter here in Cache Valley as the warm months began to wane. And it has expanded into this county fair festival-like event. And it starts this Monday with the kickoff of the Find the Can treasure hunt, basically. Throughout Cache Valley, sauerkraut cans have been hidden, and of course in Providence, and they're asking people to find these cans, post about them, and win prizes. Details on that at providencecity.com as well, or you can find Providence City Sauerkraut Days on Facebook and Instagram for more details. Then a correction here as well. Tuesday, August 16th and Wednesday, August 17th, they're having pickleball tournaments each night in Providence there the Millville courts were originally planned, but that has now been moved. They've been able to free up the Providence courts, and so the Tuesday and Wednesday night pickleball tournaments will actually happen in Providence for Sauerkraut Days. We covered this as well. Thursday, August 18th at 6 p.m. at the Old Rock Church begins a historic tour down Providence Lane. If you know the area there from the Old Rock Church on down, a lot of old homes there, and a chance to tour them and actually learn a little bit about the history of the city. Then Friday, August 19th, parade down Main Street starting at 5 p.m. It ends at Zollinger Park, where they've set up food trucks. There will be live music, local bands, a DJ, and a dance party later on in the evening. And, of course, throughout the night, Friday, August 19th, family games for everybody. And that brings us up to what will be the final day of 2022's Sauerkraut Days in Providence City, but it is the big day, starting with a fun run at 8 a.m. Saturday is just a full day of events, and we've dedicated all the remaining time to that day because you guys organizing this, your phones have to be a bit worn out. Your inbox is full. But this, I think, is the biggest list of events and vendors and special occasion type things people can get out and see for Sauerkraut Days for that final Saturday. It's huge. So I don't know where you guys want to start, but if you want, you can just start listing events. But
what do you think,
Sure.
Ashley?
We actually this week did get Soul Fitness is going to do a free high fitness class at Zollinger Park starting at 7 a.m. for the community.
Oh, wow.
Then we roll into our fun run, and then right at the end of your fun run, all those calories you just burned off, you can fill right back up with the pancake breakfast fundraiser that the Scouts are putting on right there at Zollinger Park.
Very nice. Run right into the pancakes.
Yes. And then that just kind of is going to roll into our full day of events. And we have actually something that Nicole and I are both really excited about is we're having an aerial trampoline show that is popular throughout the country. They go all over, and they're bringing in American Ninja Warrior. So they're going to do that show for us 3 times, and they're going to start that off in the morning about 11 a.m. Then we have the Dave Jensen Band playing. Then we're going to roll into our storytelling, local theater. We have a free art tent where we're going to be creating a large wood mural that all the kids can have a chance to participate in.
That's fun.
And then we actually have a band that we're really excited about. The Sky Olsen Band is going to end that night, and earlier this year, we're doing a special tribute for our former mayor, Stan Checketts, who passed away. And so we're doing a special tribute for him. He was a great member of our Providence community, and so we're excited to do that.
Wait,
Yes.
I miss that troublemaker. I really do. He was a fun guy.
And we want to emphasize all this fun is for Providence City and the community, the Cache Valley community. We are so excited to be able to bring something so wonderful to our city. And please come out and attend.
Well, and the timing is perfect because it's county fair season, but it's timed in between, county fair type events, and yet it has this very county fair feel to it. So to me, it's so cool that a city can pull this off each and every year, and it seems to get bigger and bigger each year. And I'm not kidding. I do know folks who live along the Wasatch Front or in Brigham City who drive over to this every year. They, in fact, one of them told me they have 2 events each year: Peach Days in Brigham City and Providence City Sauerkraut Days. Because it's a lot of fun. It's a very fair-like environment, but it's laid back. I don't know. It's something to not miss for sure. And as you've just heard, Saturday is packed, but Saturday is just the final day in a week of events starting this coming Monday with the launch of the Find the Can treasure hunt throughout the valley. Sauerkraut cans hidden throughout Providence City and elsewhere in the valley. And instructions on that, of course, at providencecity.com. on that hunt for the can. As we mentioned, pickleball tournaments Tuesday and Wednesday, historic tours through the city Thursday evening starting at the Old Rock Church at 6, the parade at 5 p.m. on Friday and ending at Zollinger Park with food trucks, live music, a DJ and dance party for the kids, family games, or the adults.
It's all ages dance party
right.
for everybody.
Ashley and I will be out there.
Very nice. We'll see if we can get Bill out there with his cowboy boots on.
We've got some hits that'll get Bill moving. We've got a good playlist queued up.
We'll do it.
There you go.
And then, of course, as Ashley and Nicole have told us, Saturday morning kicking off with, at 7 a.m., again, how does this work, the 7 a.m. event? That seems early, but it also seems intriguing.
Not for a lot of people.
Not for those who are, a lot of people are getting to the gym before 7 a.m., so.
Those brave souls.
I know.
That is very cool. So a fitness event at 7 a.m. at Zollinger Park. The fun run starting at 8 a.m. Registration for that is still open as well, right?
Yes.
At providencecity.com.
Yes, get on there, do the pickleball registration, and run.
And we will take day of registrations for the fun run as well.
Okay, very nice. So fun run at 8 a.m. That wraps up. As Ashley said, you can run right from the run into the pancake breakfast put together by the Scouts. And then at 11 a.m., the vendors, food trucks, live entertainment, outdoor lawn games, everything else takes place throughout the day at Zollinger Park, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and everything wraps up that night around dark with a fireworks display. Very cool.
Well, we haven't been able to get that permit for the fireworks. So
still holding off on that? Okay.
We are,
but we've added the trampoline show, which we think will be a lot of people really enjoy seeing that.
That'd be more fun. And less wildfire.
It's a little more earth friendly.
We're kind of thinking that as well. So
that's very nice. I'm excited about this. Details, if you want to see more or refresh yourself on anything we've just discussed, providencecity.com. There's a full schedule of events there, but also every event has been discussed with some teasers and instructions and more for various events on the Providence City Sauerkraut Days Facebook page and Instagram pages. I've linked to both on our own Facebook page if you want to find them there later if you're driving. And, wow, Nicole, Ashley, appreciate you guys coming down to talk to us about this today. And even more so, appreciate the work you've put into planning this. It's what makes the last month and a half of summer here in Cache Valley special. So I'm excited to see this come around again and get bigger and bigger each year. And, we'll see you out there.
Yes,
I probably won't be on the trampolines.
How about the dance party?
Dance party I can do. Okay. I can do that. Although I'm probably less likely, actually, now that I think of it, less likely to hurt myself on the trampolines. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Great.
Dancing can be hazardous, yeah.
A pleasure to have you both in the studio.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For listeners, again, our guests have been Nicole Bone and Ashley Poole, and they are some of the organizers of Providence City's Sauerkraut Days, running in the city since 1859. Kicks off this Monday and runs up until Saturday, August 20th, with a full day of events. You can see the schedule, how to sign up for the fun run, details on the Find the Can Valley-wide treasure hunt, and more. All of that at providencecity.com, or follow them on Facebook and Instagram, Providence City Sauerkraut Days. And we'll be back with more of For the People on the other side of these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason and guests. KVNU News Time is 4:33, and the news is brought to you by Northern Steel Buildings. Logan City officials have announced the planned closure of the intersection at 1800 North and 600 West. The intersection will be closed to through traffic in all directions to allow for the installation of utilities and roadway construction. The closure will be effective starting tomorrow and is expected to last up to 4 weeks. City officials are advising local residents to use alternate travel routes to avoid 600 West through at least mid-September. Detours will be set up to direct traffic to an alternative route around the work site. The eviction filings around the country are returning to pre-pandemic levels in many cities and states. The numbers have spiked from Connecticut to Utah, driven in part by rising rental prices and dwindling federal rental assistance. Legal advocates say some landlords are choosing not to take rental assistance in favor of finding new tenants who will pay higher rents. Advocates are calling for states and cities to enact greater legal protections for tenants and support a federal bill that would make rental assistance permanent. Evictions dropped significantly during the pandemic and started rising after a federal eviction moratorium went away about a year ago. And for the first time in months, the average price for a gallon of gas in the continental United States fell below $4, though Utah drivers are still shelling out nearly 3 additional quarters. According to Gas Buddy's live ticker, the nation's median price on Tuesday was $3.99. For Utahns, it was $4.70. Drivers in the Beehive State have been paying a larger amount for gas than the national average for months. In fact, all states west of Utah are among the handful that are paying above average prices. Mark LaCour, editor-in-chief of Oil and Gas Global Network, told KUTV that prices in Utah remain higher because the state is landlocked. Unfortunately, all of the refineries have to have crude oil brought in by truck, rail, or pipeline, which is more expensive than bringing it in by ocean. So when could we see prices closer to the national average? He says that Utah typically runs about 30 days behind. KVNU News Time is 4:36.
We might all agree that a vacation to Vegas is good, but Hawaii is better. Same thing when you're building. Wood is good, but metal is better. If you're considering a new building for your farm or business, let Northern Steel Building show you the benefits of metal. Metal is stronger with little or no maintenance, and it doesn't burn. Find out how affordable a metal building really is by visiting northernsteelbuilding.com. That's northernsteelbuilding.com or call 435-677-7300.
KVNU weather for tonight. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm this evening. Patchy fog after midnight, low around 60. Patchy morning fog giving way to a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, high around 90. Mostly cloudy Thursday night, then Friday, 40% chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Partly cloudy, upper 80s for the high temperature. It's been to 89. It's 88 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by U&I Furniture. They want to take a moment and say thank you for being such good neighbors and friends. U&I features a lot of American-made brands, chairs by Southern Motion, Best, Franklin, and Lane. Always a better buy at U&I, 28 West, 1st North, downtown Logan. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com. Let's check Wall Street now with Edward Jones.
This is Rochelle Hanks bringing you the daily financial market report on behalf of financial advisor Tom Arnold and Edward Jones for Wednesday, August 10th. Inflation reading better than expected. The consumer price index rose 8.5% in July, while analysts had been expecting an 8.7% rise. The rise, albeit steep, points to peak inflation that is behind us, with price growth beginning to slow in the face of falling oil prices and aggressive Federal Reserve policy. Prices rose a mere 5.9% if you strip out volatile food and energy, a measure dubbed core inflation. A few key familiar drivers kept inflation high. However, with food, housing, and used cars still posting significant year-on-year gains. Other concerning trend was that the service price growth is increasing as the shift in consumer demand from goods to services continues. On the whole, though, the latest CPI reading is a positive sign that the Federal Reserve could be having an impact on inflation and that there's at least a light at the end of the tunnel. U.S. equities closed higher today. The Dow closed up 535 points at 33,309. The Nasdaq closed up 361 points at 12,855. And the S&P closed up 88 points at 4,210. And in the bond market, 10-year Treasury yields are trading at 2.79%. In stocks of local interest, Thermo Fisher is up $11.48 to $592.35. Home Depot is up $6.37 to $311.58. Autoliv is up $3.20 to $83.21. Lowe's is up $6.23 to $201.43. Walmart is up 27 cents to $129.14. Nucor is up $2.90 to $141.49. Coca-Cola is up 60 cents to $63.65. Kroger is down 8 cents to $46.79. And General Electric is up $2.21 at $77.14. In commodity markets, the price of crude oil was up $1.12 at $91.62, and the spot price of gold was down $6 to $1,805.90. This has been today's Financial Market Report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor Tron Arnold, serving individual investors with personalized attention and financial advice at 1202 South Highway 89 in Logan. If you would like additional information, please contact any of our 7 Edward Jones offices in Logan, Providence, and Smithfield. Daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
If you need to build with steel, you need to get to everyone's metal store, Palmer's Metal Mart. Spring is the time to get out and build, and Palmer's Metal Mart is ready to help. With one of the largest selections of metal products under one roof, you'll love the selection and service at Palmer's Metal Mart. From tubing and pipe, sheet metal, to rebar, metal roofing, to welding supplies. You'll save money when you shop at everyone's metal store. Projects big and small. Palmer's Metal Mart can serve them all. You can rely on our experienced service team to help with all your metal needs. For almost 30 years, people have come to love the selection, service, and savings they get when they buy at Palmer's Metal Mart. So call today. Let's get you going on your next metal project. Quick same-day will calls or delivery available throughout Utah. If you're a handyman, DIYer, or experienced pro, get to Palmer's Metal Mart today for all your metal needs. Come visit us at our Lehigh or Logan stores. See you soon.
Cache Valley. Close to it all, but just far enough away. We've always had our own way of doing things, and we're proud of it. And our transit district is paving the way to keep that spirit alive. CVTD is forging the path to help fuel the economy, from helping your neighbor get to work to clearing up the commute time traffic. We drive the economy, and CVTD drives us. Visit cvtdbus.org for service information.
This is the Sean Hannity Show. They have drastically reduced the ability of our own energy companies to do their job, which is exploration and extraction of energy that we can bring into the open marketplace. He has artificially reduced the world's supply. The demand has remained constant or even increased, and as a result, that's why we're paying record high amounts for a gallon of gasoline. This is how bad it is at this point.
Weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 on News Talk KVNU.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
When I went looking for a place to rent, I wore a mask, but they could still see I'm black. The landlord told me
nothing available.
When I went looking for an apartment, I wore a mask. Obviously, I'm Latino. They said
the place has been rented.
My wife and I were house hunting.
We wore masks, but we're Asian American. And the real estate agent said,
you won't be happy here.
If you suspect housing discrimination because of your race, file a complaint with HUD. Go to HUD.gov/fair housing. Fair housing. The law is on your side. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Mama, what does the chicken say? Dog. Cat. Giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov.
/ the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Coming up on the Thursday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, the aftermath of the FBI raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. We've got a couple of days now. Has the DOJ explained itself in any meaningful way? Plus, Clay, what do you got?
We're going to talk with Heather McDonald about a lot of the data surrounding the woke infestation of so many of our institutions. We'll discuss that and more. It'll be the Clay and Buck Show. Come hang with us.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Thanks again to Nicole and Ashley for stopping by, talk to us about Sauerkraut Days.
They were a lot of fun.
That was, you know, and
kind of disappointed they didn't bring us some sauerkraut, though.
Oh, I'm okay with that. We discussed this before the show started. I confessed, as I did when we talked to representatives last year or the year before. No, it didn't happen last year. It would have been 2019 was the last time we had guests in for Sauerkraut Days. I confessed to them as well that it's one of the few. There are two things. I'm not very picky with food.
Yeah.
Most things I'll try almost anything I haven't tried before. Almost. I really get a little bit. I start putting the walls up if it was alive once. Then I start getting picky.
Oh.
I don't. Not a fan of shark. It's like chewing on a tire.
I don't think I've ever had shark.
Yeah, and if it had 8 legs or 6, I definitely want to know a little bit more about it. And don't even get me started on you people that like shrimp. Do you know what those things eat? Anyway.
You know how they make hot dogs? Oh.
I do know, and I just try not to think about it. There's an episode of How Stuff's Made where they actually show you a big vat of that slurry that becomes a hot dog, and man, that'll make you rethink things.
But I got to tell you, sauerkraut on brats, ooh. Not much can beat that.
I know it's popular. There's something about that flavor that is
it's sour. It's sour.
It's just it's a good flavor combination with a brat or even a regular hot dog. But there's something. So I'm kind of a little finicky about textures, and I've decided that's what it is. It's more of a texture thing with sauerkraut. It's coleslaw too. There's something. It's the same reason. I'll give you another example. There's a recipe that's really good for you. It's called spaghetti, but it's made with spaghetti squash instead of actual noodles. And
it's very good.
It's absolutely delicious, unless you put the diced onions in. Because once you put the diced onions in, what that means is you're eating spaghetti, and then there's a random surprise crunch, which you don't expect in your spaghetti.
Spaghetti's not supposed to crunch.
Usually a random crunch is an eggshell, right? And you start dry heaving. I have to be careful about textures and things like that. And the only thing that I will absolutely say no to, period. So I'll have sauerkraut, even coleslaw, just not a fan. The one thing I will reject and cannot even just thinking about right now, the pickled beet. There's no better way to ruin a salad. Beets on a salad.
It's an acquired taste.
Oh, beets on a salad are amazing. Beets in general are amazing.
Just don't spill it on a white shirt or something.
But pickled beets? Nah.
Well, with me, it's it's avocados. I can't eat avocados.
Yeah.
Or guacamole or anything.
That's everybody has their thing. But a lot of times if you think about it, it will sometimes come down to more of a texture thing than anything else. But
my wife makes her own sauerkraut. We make our own sauerkraut from cabbage. So we will scratch you from the list of bringing a free can or a free bottle or whatever you call it, container of sauerkraut. We won't put you on the list.
That's fine. But if you make salsa, definitely put me on the list.
Okay. Yeah, we
Huge
do that
fan
too.
of homemade salsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all this is not at all meant to diss Sauerkraut Days, because I think it's so cool they pull this off every year, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. And speaking of that, I wanted to do this anyway, and it just fits perfectly. We didn't plan to start off with Sauerkraut Days. This came together last minute, and that's perfect. But it fits with what I was going to start the show with today. I kind of just want to hear what everyone's been up to. I've heard so many cool stories this summer of places that friends or family members have gotten off to that they hadn't been to before, places I've gotten off to that I haven't been to before, either this summer or in recent summers. And it reminds you, there's a book out there called Backyard Tourist, and it's a book about stepping away from your life, even if you don't have a lot of money or a lot of time to take off work at that given time, how you can mentally put yourself in a vacation state.
Kind of a staycation
handbook style, yeah. But they call it backyard tourism, and they talk about how you can put yourself in this mindset. And part of it is you set a time to leave, like you would for a vacation if you're going to catch a flight or a cruise or be to your hotel to check in by a certain time. So you set a time to depart. You pack as if you're going on vacation, even if you're just going for the day and you're only packing, homemade sandwiches in a cooler. But either way, you pack the night before, set a time to depart, and you treat it in your own mind and through your own preparatory actions like you would a vacation. Even if you're just going to drive up to Preston and grab lunch at J&J's and do some shopping on Main Street, Preston, or something like that, treat it like a vacation. It has the same effect on you as a vacation without the cost, without the time taken off work, all that, which, maybe you don't have that to spare right now. So it's this really fascinating concept, and I've tried it. It works. It really does work. And there are so many amazing places to get away to around here. I'll give you an example to set things off, but I really do want to hear from listeners where you got to this summer, somewhere you've never been before, or maybe last summer or the summer before, somewhere local that you finally went and checked out, you'd heard about it and checked it out and want to recommend it to people. 753-5868. I'll kick things off here with my own. It's impossible for me to describe to you how to get to this place, but if you search for it on maps, you'll find it. It's called Twin Lakes. It's actually a reservoir, and it is just in between Preston and Downey, Idaho. It's on that road there. It used to be a popular destination for Girl Scout troops and Boy Scout troops. It's a place that a lot of locals still go, to launch a canoe or a small boat. It's amazing to see the engineering around it, and it is in the middle of nowhere. You can't see it from the road. It was a unique thing to do, and it's a short drive. So that was one of mine. That was last summer. 2 summers ago, got away to Twin Lakes finally. I'd heard about it my whole life, never seen it. It was about a 50-minute drive, I think, from downtown Logan, and a very cool thing to see. So there's my starter for this. I just want to hear from listeners, places you maybe got out to this summer or plan to with several weeks left in the summer, and tell others about it. 753-5868. I'm talking backyard tourism here on KVNU's For the People.
Hi, this is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. At White Pine, we value compassion, integrity, and service. We are committed to serving you and treating your family as our family. We will be here when you need us most, to listen, to help, and to provide exactly what your circumstances require. At White Pine, we promise to dedicate our time and attention to you and your family. We invite you to come by and meet us. We're confident you'll feel a difference.
Remember when you were a kid and used to help your dad out with projects? He would say, "My roof, my rules." You grew up, bought your own roof, and made your own rules. Then your roof started leaking. But that's okay, because your dad said he would help you fix it. Oh, watch out. It was a great father-son bonding experience, right up until you realized you were in over your heads and the roof didn't get fixed.
Don't risk your safety and your home's protection from the elements. Contact Roof Rescue's certified professionals at roofrescueusa.com. Roof Rescue, providing watertight peace of mind.
Loveland Living Planet Aquarium takes us outside our everyday lives, into a world of discovery. It's a chance to explore our innate curiosity, discover animals from around the world, and experience the all-new outdoor plaza and eco. More to explore at Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. Reserve your visit at thelivingplanet.com.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Asking listeners to weigh in here on backyard tourism, the idea that you can treat a day trip, an hour drive, a 45-minute drive from your home as a vacation in your own head and your preparations the night before. Set a time to leave, pack the night before like you're going on a long vacation, and yet you're not spending a lot of money. You're not taking a lot of time off work. Maybe you don't have the time to take off. You can still do it, and it works. I got the idea from a book called Backyard Tourist, and it really does work. So I'm asking listeners to give us some tips, places you got away to on a weekend or even a weekend day around Cache Valley, northern Utah, southern Idaho, somewhere close, not a long drive, places that you would like to recommend to others. Let us know, 753-5868. My starter tip was I finally made it 2 summers ago up to Twin Lakes, they call it, which is actually a reservoir in the middle of nowhere between Preston and Downey, Idaho, and it's difficult to find. Well, it's not difficult to get to. The roads are nice, but it's not marked. You have to kind of know or talk to a local how to get there, and I think that might be on purpose. And it was a cool little place to visit. So I was glad to finally get up there and see that, and asking listeners to make their own recommendations. 753-5868. First up, Jeff on the line. Jeff, your backyard tourist recommendation.
I have 2, actually.
Oh, great.
Inspiration Point.
Okay.
Which is up close to Willard Peak on the south end of the valley. You go to Manaway, exit at Manaway, and just go south out of Manaway past all the new houses.
Okay.
And in 13 miles, you'll be up on Inspiration Point.
Nice.
And you can see at night. And if you go up there at sundown and watch the sun go down, and the lights of Ogden and Wendover and Salt Lake City and Logan.
That sounds very cool. That would, I hadn't thought about that, but that would be, you literally could see all of the Wasatch Front and into Cache Valley at the same time from there.
And yes, and you can see the Uintas.
Very cool.
And my other thought was the Spiral Jetty, which is an art form out on the Great Salt Lake, about less than 10 miles south of the Golden Spike Monument over in Box Elder County.
Oh, that's right. Just on the northern tip of the lake there, and it's been there a long time, and most of us haven't seen it. That's a great recommendation. That is... Jeff, going back to Inspiration Point quick, I would assume that road, I don't know much about it. I would assume you'd want to be in a truck or on an ATV, right?
No.
Really?
With all the ATVs going up there nowadays, you can drive up there in your car.
Really?
Go slow.
Very nice.
Just go slow. You can drive up there in your car because all the rocks are gone but
all the traffic has planed the road pretty good, huh?
Also up there, there are some high-altitude lakes right below Willard Peak.
That's right.
And it's really nice up there. It's very awesome.
Very cool. That's a great recommendation, Jeff. I appreciate you calling to make it.
You're welcome. Have a nice rest of the show. I appreciate listening to you every day. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that you do listen. And again, appreciate you making the recommendations. That's one. I'm adding that one to the list, Bill, because
that'd be neat.
I'd never thought about that. I know that, I can point to Inspiration Point on the mountains if somebody asked, but I'd never thought about if you're sitting at that point, you would be able to see all the way up the Wasatch Front. See the Uintas in the background to your southeast. You'd see the lights of Wendover because there's nothing between here and Wendover except lake dust right now. And then you'd be able to look the other way and see into Cache Valley, even maybe north into Preston. Man, I'd never thought of that. I'm gonna have to get up there at night.
Take your
one
binoculars.
Time. I haven't been up there since I was a little kid. We went up on ATVs, and it was in the middle of the day. And I remember we saw down the other side from the point there, we saw mountain goats. First time I'd ever seen actual living in the mountains mountain goats in my life. I'd only seen them at zoos. But I'm going to have to make a point to get up there at nighttime. That is a good idea. Jeff with a recommendation there, Inspiration Point up there near Willard Peak, which you can get to from, as Jeff said, you literally just drive into Manaway and head south on that main drag and just keep going south. It's an easy road to find. But if you want to be absolutely sure, stop and ask the locals there at the little restaurant in Manaway or somewhere. They'll tell you where you need to go to get to Inspiration Point. And as I haven't seen it myself, but Jeff said the traffic, so much ATV traffic on that road up to Inspiration Point, you can actually take a passenger car now, which if I remember right, when I was younger and the last time we went up, it was pretty close to that then. So I'd believe that. So very nice. A little staycation recommendation for your final 4 or 5, 6 weeks of summer here. If you've got other recommendations...
Because summer is not over.
That's right, and won't be till the end of September. Dang it. Pounding my fist on the table to emphasize that. You naysayers out there. All right. We'll be back with hour 2 of today's show right after this here on KVNU Logan.
As our world changes, we're with you. News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM, 610 AM, the voice of